A few weeks ago, a friend of mine, Susie Billings, who is known in Greenfield for her volunteerism, attended a conference at Community Hospital on the subject. Now, Susie is in at least 5 organizations, and she's a treasurer of 6. So she is a busy lady and talented and caring. She attended this conference at Community Hospital and relayed this story to me in less than 4 minutes. And the minute she finished that story, I have had it just in my mind. She said that the speaker said the following. It was in a hospital, and a man had a medical condition that was very painful. And he was in a frame, and he had to be turned every so many hours. And every time that took place, it was excruciating, even though they gave him medication. So one afternoon, this volunteer came to his room with her magazine card. She says, "Hello." You know, volunteers are cheerful. She said, "Would you like to read a magazine?" He said, "Sure." "See me reading a magazine in this frame?" "Oh," she said, "no problem." She said, "Tell me some of the magazines that you liked." "Well," he said, Field and Stream, Home and Garden, Time magazine." He listed several. So she went back to her cart and she got the magazine on fishing, which he had mentioned that he liked. Is it Field and Stream? So he said, "This is going to be interesting." So with that, she got down on the floor. She crawled under the frame and laid back, prone position. And they began to read the magazine. She turned each page, and they discussed the trout fishing, the bass fishing, and the more they discussed on the pages of this magazine, his pain decreased. So the minute that Susie finished telling me this story, I thought of a hymn from church. I sing a song of the saints of God, faithful and brave and true, who lived and died and worked and prayed for the God we both love and knew. So I invite you today to look and think about the saints in your life. Maybe you were a little girl who was always the last one chosen. It didn't make any difference. The basketball team, the baseball team, the hockey team, they certainly didn't want Gwen on that team. But one day, there was a little girl named Judy, and she said, "Gwen, come on and be on my team." And Gwen wasn't the last one chosen that day. That's the saint of God. What about the child that is brand new in town, doesn't know what to wear to school? Who's going to talk to him? Who's she going to eat lunch with? But there was a school that said, "We're going to greet new children, and we're going to have a buddy system. And they're going to show you around the school, and they're going to show you where to eat lunch, and you're going to have someone to eat lunch with." Sang me a song of the saints of God. And then the scientists who were researching for cures, for a way to make our life better. Jonas Salk and the polio vaccine. And when they asked him about patenting the Salk vaccine, he said, "How can you patent something like this? It belongs to everyone." What about the teachers in your life? What about the parents in your life? What about the widow who's lost their husband? And everybody came to the funeral, and everybody brought food. But it's 6 months now, and the widow's still in her home. But that day, Barbara calls and says, "Hey, why don't you come and let's have lunch today?" And with that, she is reconnected with her community. So sing me a song of the saints of God, faithful and brave and true. So today, I would like you again to not only think of the saints in your life, but how you can be one too.